Good morning. This is Eric Lofholm. I want to welcome all of you to our 15-minute daily motivational call. And on the screen here, it says The Influence Show, which is not this show, but I've been working on expansion, which is our topic today. And The Influence Show is on Mondays. And we've been working on some graphics. And so I forgot to get the graphic off. So that's why it says The Influence Show. But this is the daily motivational call. And I think it also says Thursday motivation. And today, of course, is Friday. So I'm still working with these new tools. But it is great to be with you guys here this morning. And this week, we have had some special guests on. We had April Osteen a couple days ago. And April Simons also, that's her maiden name and then her married name. Hope you guys enjoyed that show. And we had NBA Hall of Famer Rick Barry yesterday. And I'm going to be doing more of that moving forward. In fact, my son he's 20, Brandon. He's going to be making his motivational speaking debut next Tuesday. And so he's going to be on the show. And I'm excited about bringing you different people in my life. Some are famous, some are, like my son's family. And you can hear from their perspectives, because you never know when you're going to get that idea that's going to make the biggest difference for you. And today we're going to talk about expanding. And I want to give you some insights because I am in a big expansion mode in my life. Now, expand is an idea. Contracting is an idea. Status quo is an idea. And in my life, I tend to stay status quo, do things the same old, unless I have intention to expand. And when I create intention to expand, I can create like crazy. And I'm in one of those modes right now. I'm going to tell you some of the things I've been creating lately, because some of you could really benefit by playing a bigger game. And when I say bigger game, I'm not necessarily saying if you make $100,000 a year that you need to go strive for $1 million, like a 10x thing. I'm not saying don't do that, but it doesn't have to be that big. I mean, it certainly can be, but there's a lot of ways to play a bigger game that may resonate with you, what I'm going to share with you today. And I want to give you some different ways to think about playing a bigger game. I mean, it could be as simple as changing your diet, right? There's times in my life that I had no intention with my food. And so I would get hungry and I would go eat something to satisfy the hunger with no intention of what I'm putting in my body, whether it was fast food, frozen food, soda, popcorn, whatever, candy. So get hungry, eat, and now I'm intentional with the food that I put in my body. And I'm not intentional in the point where I'm counting calories or macros or whatever those things are it's not like that. It's just making good, healthy choices. So I expanded my life by making better choices intentionally with what I eat. That's how simple expansion could be. I don't want you to think it has to be this massive, think big, make a major change in your life, although sometimes it's that. So I want to take you back into my mid-30s. I'm 52 now. Back in my mid-30s, I had a belief system that all I really had time for was my work. So if you talk to me about exercising, I would say, well, don't you know I'm busy working? I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time for a date night. I don't have time, and that was my life. I don't have time. Because in my mind, I thought all I have time for is my work. And then I learned plus, plus, plus. And what that means is I learned I didn't have to be that laser focused. I'm all for focus and I'm all for laser focus. And I learned I could be focused on my work during the workday and I could be focused on my family in the non-working hours. I could be focused on my spiritual life. Like for me, that's going to church on Sunday. You'll pretty much find me in church every Sunday. I learned that there's time for my fitness. And it doesn't mean there's time for everything. I don't have a big social life because for the life I live, my time is spent with my family. And so I don't have a lot of friendships in my life outside of my working relationships intentionally because I'm in a season of my life where the time I have, I want to spend with my family. So we don't have time for everything, but you do have time for your priorities. So I used to say, I don't have time for my fitness, but then I learned plus, plus, plus. So now I have time for my faith. I have time for my fitness. I have time for my finances. I have time for my career. I have time for my family. I have time for my kids. And I have time for my wife. And I got a couple other things I do in there as well. So I want to share that idea with you that maybe there's a key area of your life right now that you're neglecting because of, Eric, I don't have the time. I want to have more time spiritually in my life, my connection with my higher power, whatever that higher power is for you. For me, I call my higher power God. You're going, but I don't have time. And I would encourage you to consider expanding your life to go plus, plus, plus. I get it. I could do that. So when it comes to work, people don't come to me. They come to me for, how do I make more sales? That's what I'm known for. And that's probably why you're here, right? You want to learn how to be more successful in your business. That's the main thing I do career-wise. So some of the things that I'm doing in my life right now to expand, because I'm in this like super creative space and it's kind of interesting. Like I've been on this roll lately of really expanding. And so the first one that on this video right now, the border around it says the Influence Show, which I've got the wrong border. We'll get that fixed next week. But I do have a new show called The Influence Show. And it's every Monday at 4:00 Pacific with my mentor, Dr. Moyne. And the new website, which I think it's up now, it'll be up today if it's not up now, it's theinfluenceshow.com and has all the information about the show. So the website's new, the graphics are new. I'm going to show you something on these graphics, which I show this to Dr. Moyne, who I'm doing the show with. And let me just find it here, video clips. I think it's this one right here. Check this out, guys. So that'll be our opening on Monday. And I just think that's so cool. I showed Dr. Moyne and it like blew him away. He's like, we're getting all official now. But I want to share with you how I created that. Yeah, I hired a graphics person. That's not what I mean. How did I bring that idea in my mind and manifest it in reality? We want results, and what's up, this is reverse engineering results. If you reverse engineer results, we want results. What's upstream from results is action. But what's upstream from action is thought. And what's upstream from thought is being. So if you want to create transformation in your life, shift your being and change your thinking. So the language that you use to describe yourself to yourself and how you talk to other people in the world creates your reality. So if you say on a coaching call with me, my wife and I are always arguing. If that's what you say to me, I'm gonna say back to you, then that's likely how it's gonna go for the rest of your marriage, as long as you create your relationship with your wife or your husband, your spouse, as long as you create it as we're always arguing. Or if you create your marriage as my marriage is mediocre, or if you create your fitness as I don't have time for my fitness, or if you create your money as I'm not good with money. So when we use different words, it creates different results. So the word today is expand. And I was talking to a person the other day about joining my trainer program. I have a trainer program, and it's a fee to become an Eric Lofholm trainer. And so I was talking to this woman about the program. She's like, "This sounds perfect for me." And she said, "But I don't know if I can take it on right now with all the commitments that I have." And that's fair. We only have so much bandwidth. But right now, I'm in a season of my life of expanding. So I'm saying yes to things, and I'm living a bigger life. And out of living a bigger life, I'm creating a new reality. Nothing wrong with saying, I don't have the bandwidth to take this on. But what if you do have the bandwidth? What if you could say yes? You know, Richard Branson, he has the Virgin brand out of the UK, and he's apparently a multi-billionaire. And I don't know, he must have like 86 different companies. How could somebody have 86 different companies? How is that even possible? Because he lives an expansive life. So if Richard Branson could have 86 different companies, could you take on one more thing in your life? Like a date night with your spouse? Tonight, I get to spend the evening with my wife. We're celebrating Valentine's because we didn't celebrate this week due to our schedules. So we're going to go have a nice meal and have a date night. Maybe some of you are in a committed relationship and you haven't been making time for each other because you're like, well, we're too busy with the kids, or we're too busy working, or we're too busy. I'm just sharing an idea for you to consider expanding. So I'm expanding with the Influence Show. I have a new speaker podcast. Sabrina Gibson and I, we're launching that in the very near future. If you're interested in the public speaking conversation, you're going to love our podcast. Well, I already have this show you're on with me right now. This is a daily show. And I have a full life. And now I got the Influence Show with Dr. Boyd. Now I'm going to do a speaker podcast with Sabrina. You go, Eric, why would you do that? Because I want Sabrina's energy in my life. I want what that show is going to do. It's going to appeal to a whole different audience. If you're on the show right now, hopefully you like the show that you're on with me right now. You might like the show with Dr. Boyd. You might like the show with Sabrina. Or somebody who wasn't drawn to today's show might like that show. So then this guy contacts me and he goes, hey, I want to put you on, I want to make your book on Audible. Okay, my plate's, I got a full plate, guys. He comes to me and goes, hey, I want to get your book on Audible. I said yes. In 90 days, I'm going to be on Audible because I said yes. So then this guy comes to me and he goes, hey, you want to grow your business? I go, yeah. He goes, you doing Facebook ads? I go, no. He goes, I want to be your Facebook ad guy. So I just signed up for that this week. So now we're about to launch Facebook ads. And next week, I'm launching a health program with my kids. My kids, my 17-year-old daughter, my 20-year-old son, and I, the Lofholms, will motivate you and your family for $10 a month. Your whole family. You got 10 people in your family? We'll motivate all 10 of you. $1 a person. It's $10. You get the family membership. Because my teenagers, my teenage daughter, my 20-year-old son, they can talk to your kids differently than I can. Because your kids are going to see me as an adult. But you know what? I can influence your kids if we can get them to listen to my kids. And my kids and I, we're going to make an impact on the world health-wise, one family at a time. You go, Eric, You're busy doing sales training. Yeah. And I have the time to expand. At the end of the day, we all have the time to do whatever our priorities are. So if you're saying no to something, we can't say yes to everything. If you're saying no to something, then the question is, what's the priority over that? Right? If I'm saying no to my health, and by the way, I lift weights now 6 days a week. I used to be the guy that said, I don't have time for my health. How could I go from I don't have time for my health to lifting weights 6 days a week? Because I made it a priority. So whatever you're not doing in your life right now, you're not making it a priority. And whatever you are doing, you're making that a priority. So in an extreme example, good friend of mine, client, was married with kids, living a wonderful life. And his wife said to him, I'm done. I'm out. And he's like, let's do marriage counseling. Let's talk about it. I'll change. She goes, I said I'm out. He said, wait a minute. Let's go to marriage counseling. I'll change. I'll do anything. I don't want it. I don't want us to end. She goes, I'm out. And they divorced. That's an extreme example of the consequences of having the wrong priorities. That could be your marriage. That could be your fitness. That could be your finances. So there's 2 words for today, and we're going to wrap it up. Expand and priorities. What are your priorities? If you got something out of class today, type the word yes in the chat. If you got something out of class today, type the word yes in the chat. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to spend a little time with you, share some ideas to help you. Have a wonderful, successful day. I'll look forward to next time we connect. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.